Hi everyone. Good evening. Sorry. Good evening. Good evening. Hi Zana. Hi everyone. Thanks for joining. This evening we are talking to. First of all, it's Fertility Talk. So welcome everyone. Thank you for joining. We are talking to Quintin, and he is a medical director at FutureGen. And we're just going to invite him, send an invite to get him live. So there we go. Wait a few seconds. Thanks everyone for joining. Okay, there we go. Hi,
Hi.
Quintin. Hi, how are you?
Fine, and you?
Good. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Sure.
Yeah, sorry, I went on just like a few minutes after. Um, yeah, so Quintin, you're from FutureGen, and if you can just take a moment and tell us what it is that you do there, who you are. Yeah.
Sure. Thanks, Leanne. Yeah. So I guess to simplify my job, I'm the guy that runs the lab. So whether it's your embryos or products of conception, I'm the one that makes sure that everything gets tested and the results go out so that your IVF provider can give you the best outcome possible. So
Okay, perfect.
that's
And
what we do.
okay, and tonight we're talking about carrier screening. Is this a new thing?
Yes. So it has been done overseas for quite a while, and there's a few guys, genetic counselors in South Africa that do send overseas,
Okay,
and it's something that we've been wanting to bring to South Africa for a while.
okay, so now you guys have finally brought it here.
Yes, we're almost at the finish line. We're about a few months away from rolling it out, but there's been a
Okay.
lot of hard work behind the scenes.
Okay, so before I get to actually get to that question, sorry, I jumped the gun there, but yeah, what is carrier screening?
So I think it's important to note firstly that we're all carriers of something.
Yeah,
It doesn't necessarily always mean that it's a bad thing. You'll often hear the remark of saying, well, you got your grandfather's nose, you know, or your mother's eyes, and it's not all bad, but sometimes there are things that are not great,
yeah,
and you can be a carrier of that condition, which means you are perfectly fine. But if you and your partner are carriers for the same condition, there's a risk that your children can be affected
yeah.
going forward.
Okay, and why would anyone want to do carrier screening, or why should you do carrier screening?
Sure. So, I mean, we all live in an age where, life is tight and, family planning does play a big role. And when you're ready to when you're ready to start a family, you really want to have as much information as possible so that you can plan and just have the best possible outcome. So if you're
Yeah,
ready to start a family and you know there's might be something in the family, where there's a condition that you're aware of, or if you just want to be sure that, again, you'll have the best possible outcome,
yeah.
this is where the test for you.
Okay. Can I ask? I'm just throwing this question in here, but
Sure.
hope you don't mind. But when you're doing carrier screen, if you obviously trying to conceive, and you decide you want to do this test for carrier screening, can it also assist with the outcome of IVF in some way, or is it just
No.
that screening for something else?
So, for example, there's a condition called sickle cell anemia, which is quite common in Africa. And people that are carriers are actually quite resistant to malaria. But when they come together, these carriers, the kid will have full-blown sickle cell, which is a blood disorder, and it really leads to developmental issues, special needs, a lot of financial burden on it. So that is kind of where carrier screening fits in. So instead of having a child with special needs, you can minimize the risk
Yeah.
by by getting tested beforehand. So it won't necessarily help your IVF journey, but certainly, and a lot of people, for example, have also got things like breast cancer in the family, and they don't want to pass that on to future generations. So again, this is where the screening is useful.
Okay, perfect. I'm asking this just to get a better idea of how it helps and
where it fits in. So it's really
perfect.
when you want to start your family.
Yes.
And this is just to guide you in that process.
Okay. And then what results can I expect from doing
So,
this?
like I said at the start, we're all carriers of something, right? So there's three kind of outcomes that you can get. So if you are being tested as a couple, there's a scenario where both of you are not carriers for the conditions that we look for. So we look for very common conditions such as cystic fibrosis, or for example, in the Jewish community, we look at Tay-Sachs, we look at Fragile X. So these are very common conditions. And it can be that you and your partner are not carriers for any of these conditions, or you might be a carrier of one condition, your partner is a carrier of another condition, but the combined thing is, it should be less risky going forward. So that is the one possible outcome. Obviously, the other outcome that you can have is that both you and your partner are carriers for the same thing, and then there's the risk that we said. And then there are other options available to you. For example, we also do a test called PGT or PGTM, where we can then screen the embryos to make sure that that condition that you're both at risk for carrying on does not get brought forward. And then there is the scenario where you are a carrier of something, and again your partner's not carrier of anything, and again the risk then is greatly reduced for this condition in your family.
If I can ask, is this only a test that can be done beforehand and not after?
Preferably yes. So when we roll it out, it will just be beforehand, not during pregnancy, because that's that brings some other messy situations in there of whether people would want to terminate, etc. So really, it is at the beginning when you're ready to start a family. For now.
Okay. What type of support is given to the patient so that they can understand the results?
So at FutureGen, medical care is very important to us and speaking to the right people. So every test that does, every person that signs up will get genetically counseled, firstly from a digital platform. And should there be results that need further counseling, we actually include the first session free with a counselor. And they're very flexible. It can be done, digitally or in person, just to help put your results into context, and then they can discuss what your reproductive options are going forward with being carriers of the same condition.
Okay. And then when will this be available?
So like I said, we're very excited, but we're still putting down some bricks, but in the next few months we'll probably officially roll it out. Like I said, it has been offered overseas, but we've signed up with some really great people, and it's going to be really, really affordable. And what I must also say is, it will probably be a cash test at the start. But like with our other test, PGTA, we are in discussions with medical aid such as Discovery, so it does get included as part of your benefits. So we're not going to leave you completely in the dark. We'd like to get the medical aids to also come on board and make this available for everybody.
Everyone, yeah. And then tell me, what I want to ask about it is, again, is this something you've got to obviously speak to your clinic about, whatever specialist clinic that you are attending, the fertility clinic that you are going to, fertility specialist that you are seeing, is it through them that you would have this done and not directly with you guys, or is it something you go directly to you guys with?
So as part of introducing the product, we're going to give a few flexible options because we do have the support of genetic counseling that goes with it. We are also going to sell the product independently to people. but again, that will go together with counseling. So it's not where you're going to sit with a report and you go, oh, I have no idea what this is saying.
Yeah.
Or, you get a report and you're completely freaked out. And,
Yeah.
we are going to sell it most directly to the public. And
Yeah.
we're also obviously happy if gynaes and other fertility specialists also promote and advocate for it, especially, again, if there's a family history, that one cousin or whatever that somebody has that is affected, this can really help in just giving you more options.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much, Quintin. It's been great speaking to you. I hope that I have spoken to Adele. So I hope you guys are actually going to be at the event in September. Fingers crossed that you could actually speak to the group there, that you guys would be attending and actually bring this across there. Hopefully by then you'd have it rolled out or at least at the finishing stages of it.
Yes. So we're still trying to finalize that, and obviously we'd love to be there. A lot of IVF specialists that we support are also going to be there. But yeah, we were working hard to bring you the best products at reasonable prices.
So, thank you very much, Quintin. It's been a pleasure speaking to you and having you with us this evening, and I hope we could do some more in future, some more lives in future.
I'm a very shy guy, but sure. I'm used to being the guy. I'm the guy behind the scenes, but yeah, I'm happy to be of assistance and
okay,
chat.
perfect.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Leanne.
Thanks. Have a great evening, Quintin. Thanks. Bye. You too.
Bye.
Bye.